So what you need to do with your stitch marker is you're right here in the very beginning. We're not going to use it quite yet, but we're going to use it in just a minute. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 single crochets into this circle. So you're going to go in the center of this circle. You should be able to see your finger through there, and you don't want to go into any of these stitches. You want to do your single crochet in that circle. Okay, go in the circle again. This is number 2, and this tail is getting tucked right in there. Around, you can do that, or you can let it hang back to the back. I'll just let it hang back. That's what I normally do. This is 3 in the circle. You've got 4. You've got 5. And you've got 6. Okay. Now, this is quite a big hole for amigurumi, which is what the octopus is. But this is what we're going to start with for now, okay? Now, to go beyond this row, you're going to use your stitch marker, and you're going to put it right here on your hook, on the yarn that's on your hook, okay? And so then, we're going to go into this next stitch. With your hook, you're going to go under these 2 pieces of yarn, because that's the next stitch over. And you're going to do a single crochet. You want to keep these fairly tight, but enough where you can get your hook through. Now you're going to do a second one in this same hole. This is so we can make a flat circle basically, okay? And the next one goes right in here. This is your next stitch, and you're going to do 2 single crochets in this space. Make sure you don't crochet your tail, because then it would be impossible to finish. Okay, the next one is right in here. That's your next stitch, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in here. Now sometimes, if you'll notice what I just did, I hooked it around, but I kind of wiggled it through there to make sure I didn't pick up any extra pieces of yarn. You want to do 2 singles there. We're going to go in the next one and do 2 singles in this one. And then the next one and do 2 singles in that one. In the next one and do 2 singles in that one. Now you will fight with your little stitch marker a little bit, but it's not that bad. Now to count your stitches, we want to make sure we have 12. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is number 12 right where the stitch marker is. Okay, so we definitely have 12. We're going to take the stitch marker off, and you're going to move it to the yarn that is on your hook. Now at this point, if you want to take a break, you can lay this out just the way it is, and your place will be kept because of the stitch marker. That is the second convenience of it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our next round. Okay, we're going to go right in this next stitch, and we're going to do a single crochet. And the next one we're going to do 2 single crochets. And the next one we're going to do 1 single crochet. And the next one we're going to do 2 single crochets. And you want to pull your yarn from here so you have a little bit out on your table to work with, because if you start crocheting and it pulls, sometimes this whole thing is pulling on your hand and it doesn't come out very good. Okay, so let's see where we were. We did, let's get a little closer again. We did one single here and two singles there. We haven't made it around to our stitch marker, so we're going to go back to one single there and two singles here. And you just kind of pull your work open where you can see that hole and have your finger right behind it, and you can grab that and get your single crochet right in there. See, my finger is right behind that hole. You hold your work right there snug. You need to do your single crochet. The next one gets two. And the next one gets one. The next one gets two. And the next one gets one. And this next one gets two. Okay, now if we take the stitch marker out, we have a little tiny circle, and you can slip your yarn into this to close it off if that's what you would like to do. I wouldn't do it with amigurumi. It depends on the pattern. Some of them require you to slip it together and chain, and some don't. But this is how we get the beginning of our circle. Now, if you would like to if you would like to make this larger, what I was trying to think of a minute ago, you would continue to increase, and that's what this 2 is in 1. So we're going to do 1 single crochet here, and then 2 in the next one. We're going to go ahead and increase around on this circle. Okay, we're going to do 1, and then we're going to do 2. Now if you can picture this 1 and this 2, or this 2 on every stitch being the reason that it gets larger, when you want to close off the circle on the other side of the ball, like when it closes up at the end, then you would skip stitches. I'll show you what that's like here in a minute. I'm going to do 2 here, 2 here, and 1 here. And see, my yarn is pulling on me now because I don't have any pulled out. Okay, then we're going to do 2 here, and 1 here, and 2 here. Now if you're having any trouble doing these singles, I would suggest you go back and watch the first video, the second video, and the third video. The second and the third will help you with your single crochets, and you can practice that as long as you need to. This is a difficult skill, a difficult hobby. It is a craft that is fun and relaxing if you learn how to do it, but take the time to learn the basics. Okay, now we're going to move our stitch marker again, because once you learn all these basics that are a little bit difficult in the beginning, you will be able to make almost anything you can imagine. Okay, now we're going to make this close up into a ball. So we're going to do 1 round with 1 single per stitch. And you can do a lot more rounds. When we do the octopus, the pocket octopus, the pocket octo, we are going to follow the pattern, okay? But right now I'm just going to teach you how to. I just taught you how to increase, and then I'm going to show you how to decrease here in a minute. But for real, if you do not have the single crochet down, just continue practicing that single crochet. It's a matter of muscle memory, and once you get it down, you'll have it. Once you get all the movements that you need and you've practiced it enough, it will become easier. It does take your hands some getting used to, and sometimes your hands will cramp and you'll have to stop for a little while. So don't be too hard on yourself if that is the case, because it happens to everyone. Okay, we're almost to the end. And I do like closing this off with a slip, so I just slip this together there. And then I'm going to pop this in. Because we're done with that row, I'm going to pop it into that yarn that's on my hook. Now, to decrease, we are going to do a single crochet, but we're going to skip a space. We're going to go into the next one. So what we're making in this class is like a ball shape. And we want to skip one. So this is how we're going to end up doing the decrease. Going to skip one, and when you skip one, you need to make sure that you kind of pull it tight there, or it won't close up very well. On this, you can't have loose stitches. You'll just have to practice, okay, and keep practicing. And always be open to learning new things or new ways to learn it, because lots of people learn different ways. We're still skipping one and going to the next one. Lots of people learn different ways, and that's why there are so many teachers for these different kind of crafts. And one here, skip one and go there. And you can see how it's kind of closing in on us there. Skip one and go to the next one. And then we're going to skip one and go to the next one. Kind of slides off of there. Just got to work with it and make it keep going. Now, we're right there to the end. And I'm going to take that off, because really I don't need it anymore. You could make this the top of a mushroom. Super cute. See that? And so it goes in as you skip one and pull it in. So when we go and skip some more, we're going to skip that one and go into this one right here. I've got to pull some more yarn out. We're going to skip this one and go into this one. It gets a little bit harder the tighter you get. And then pull it tight. Skip one and go to the next one. Now I'm not going to specifically stuff this one, but if you were going to stuff it, this would be about the place you need to, because there's not much space here left to stuff it with. Now I'm going to turn this right side out, because see, this is the wrong side. And if you'll notice, this is the outside of our work. And when you turn it over, you get the pretty side. This is the pretty side, I think. Now this little hole can be smaller if you do 3 chains instead of 4. Or you can take this long tail that you have in there. Let me just show you how to do that. That will be the easiest way to fix it. We're going to pull our tail, twist your hook, and pull it up through the hole. And let's fix that tail right now. Fix that hole. Okay, we're going to go right in here to this, through these threads, and we're going to pull that right on through, and we're going to pull it tight. You see that? That hole basically disappeared. Now we're going to tie this thread right in this tail, so we don't have a tail anymore hanging off of our work. Now you can tie your tail in earlier, but usually it works better when you wait. I like to wait anyway. I guess everybody's different on that. So if you don't want to wait on the tail, then just go ahead and do it when you first get going and just close up that little hole. Okay, now we're going to continue to close this up. We're going to skip one, and now we're working from the outside. So it switched angles on us, but that is okay. Skip one and go here. And see how it's coming in? Skip one and go here. And it's just slowly getting small. Now at this point, you can also just do a slip stitch. Slip it in and pull it through. Not a single crochet, but you go in the hole, grab your yarn, and pull it through both. You just have to twist, I'm sorry it got out of the camera there. You have to twist your hook. So you go in the hole, grab your yarn, come through the hole, and then twist it through that yarn as well. Now we're going to close this off by cutting this so we have a tail to work with. We're going to pull this right through. I know this video is a little longer than I wanted, but I wanted to show you the decrease as well as the increase. So if this was stuffed, it'd probably be better, but to close this off, you're just going to go in the outside stitch of each one of these. You go in the outside stitch, and the outside stitch, and just pick up one of those pieces of yarn off that stitch, and it closes it right up. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you are learning something that you can take into the future and have fun and enjoy yourself doing a new hobby. And if you have any questions, just put them down below. It almost looks like a heart if I pressed it in there. There it is. And so you can just play with these stitches and have fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. And I hope you come back to next class and we'll learn something new, or we'll work on what you're still working on. So y'all crochet together, and let's crochet next time together, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.